Hello, my name is Benito Vasquez, and I am local to Houston. I am a producer, director, and actor, as well as an adjunct in theater at the University of Houston downtown and at Texas Southern University. And I am so happy to be at Stephen F. Austin to direct Anna and the Tropics with the wonderful students. I didn't choose the production as far as uh, SFA. So I think I you would have to ask why this was sort of chosen for this university. But I can speak on why I think this play should be done at every university for sure. I am very familiar with this play. I teach it in my Latinx theater and performance class at University of Houston downtown, which is really the only course that I know of that teaches on that particular topic. So yeah, I'm familiar with the play and teach it in my class. And so the reason I think every university should be doing this production, it's because of the sort of intersection between storytelling and education, right? What the lectors, the lectors or the lectores meant to the cigar workers, the reading of newspapers in the morning, the reading of literature in the afternoon and evenings was a way to, obviously it was a way to sort of break up the monotony of the work, but it was also a way of just sparking debate, sparking conversations of different worlds, of humanity, relationships, love, anything like that, right? And so that is exactly, what we do here at the university, right? The idea is to sort of bring up topics that spark conversations, that there's several ways to look at a problem and sort of come up with a solution. And this play really, sort of exemplifies that, right? And watching the cigar workers really take to heart the literature that's being read to them, and then allowing them to sort of grow as humans through that literature. So that's such an important aspect of why doing it at university important. I would also add is sort of it encourages the communal act of learning, which again, I think many times we get caught up with this idea of like, I just gotta be by myself, read the chapters, study this, but really where the most learning happens is in conversation with your peers. Yes, the professor has the knowledge and the expertise, but it is those conversations of going back and forth that really helps you understand and learn a particular topic. And I think that is sort of exemplified within the cigar workers and how they talk about what's being read to them and how it sort of goes into every aspect of their lives. Really, the question I guess we all ask ourselves when going into a play is, why this play now, right? How is this play relevant to what's happening in our world, in our society? And this play could literally have been written about this particular time, right? So some of the themes is in the play here, where the time where machines are beginning to take over sort of what used to be sort of hand labor, right? And so crafting these cigars by hand has always been the tradition, but now as machines on just the mechanization of industries began to sort of take over and being able to sort of speed up the process, hence driving up, profits and things like that. This was a time where the mechanization of these industries began to create um, uh, sort of nerves or what would it be? Uncertainty, right? It created uncertainty. And we're there now with AI, right? AI is causing a lot of people to feel nervous about what the future holds, and if their jobs are, if they're easily replaceable by AI. You know, AI is creating uncertainty in a lot of different fields as folks are wondering, will their jobs still exist? How do they need to adapt in order to coexist with AI? And so one of the questions that I posed is, what is it that we lose in the name of progress, right? And so that's a big thing. And so in this particular play, the way that Nilo Cruz picked particularly 1929 because we're a year or two from completely losing the lector completely in the name of progress. And many people didn't even know about the culture and history of having the lector in the cigar factories because it was just wiped out because in the name of progress, because machines were brought in, and so the lector was sort of losing the lector, and that whole tradition was a consequence to that progress. So what is the progress now? What is AI going, what is AI going to take away from us, right? What part of our culture, what part of ourselves? And so I think we need to think about that in order to protect it, and sort of fight for the things that are important for us and not being erased in the name of progress, right? The second theme, of course, is sort of the political rhetoric now around immigrants, right? And immigrants are, when in this rhetoric, immigrants are referred to as a way, what is it that they produce? What is it that they have to offer? And they become statistics when it comes to jobs and things like that, and never really thinking of the human being, right? And they are our neighbors. They are the kids that go to school with our kids, right? They are our families. They are our parents. And so this play reminds us of the human aspect of immigrants coming to this country, and everything they have to offer to them other than what they produce, right? They have so much other things to offer, and I think I think Nilo Cruz does a wonderful job of showing that we all have the same, we all deal with the same sort of interpersonal relationship issues. We all have dreams and things like that. And so it's just a reminder that we're speaking about human beings here and not numbers in a factory of trying to produce for this country. Okay. All right. So, in an educational setting, I am very fortunate that I went into a graduate program that my degree is actually MFA in performance and pedagogy, right? Because I knew that I wanted to know the creative side, the artistic side, but I also wanted the pedagogical side of being able to train the next generation of artists. That was important to me. So I come in with that frame of mind. Anytime I direct in a university, I am creating both an artistic and pedagogical space for students, right? So that they can explore their creativity, but I also allow that space to play in order to learn, right? And so I encourage curiosity, I encourage questions, and I encourage collaboration, because this is ultimately a collaborative art form, right? And so it is so easy to fall into this learned hierarchy of the director, is the person in charge, and it's what they say that goes. And I try to eliminate that right off the bat, and really, really encourage them to speak up about what are their ideas. What is it, what questions they have, and that their input is as valuable to what I bring to the table, and that we're a team. And so it really is just creating that space for them, and so that they feel they are part of the process. And I think this allows for them to feel more comfortable, and hence allow them to make creative choices, right? Not feeling this pressure of like I have to do what I'm being told, but more so I'm being given information in order to allow me to play with that, right? To take the given circumstances and play and learn my craft. And so that's at least the space that I try to create when directing it at the university level. I think authenticity begins with respect and listening. And so how we go about doing that is making sure we understand both the cultural and historical context of the play that we're diving to. So this is true, I would say true for any play that anyone's directing, right? You have to understand the world, the given circumstances, in order to fully embody and respect the story that you're telling, right? And so luckily this production and now it's very common that almost every production tends to have a dramaturg that sort of helps bring in that research, bring in that world, in order for everyone on the team, not just the cast, but everyone on the production team to understand the world we're building together, right? And so that allows us, and now speaking just on the actor and building the character, that allows them to take that history, take that context, and embody it. And so it feels like they're telling the story instead of the story being sort of treated as history, right? But instead treating it now and creating a human being that is going through these given circumstances, and feeling the way they feel, and the actor sort of embodying that human through the history, the context, and the actor's lived experiences. What is it through that the actor's lived experiences connects? What is it that their lived experiences connect with the history and the context, the cultural context of it? One of the easy things to assume, for example, when doing a Latino play, is that we have a bunch of Latinos in the cast, that they all connect to the content there. But that's a terrible assumption, because Latino community is a very diverse community, right? We're doing a Cuban and Cuban American play, and to assume that if you're Latino from Mexico or from El Salvador or from South America, that you would automatically understand the context, the cultural context and history, and that's not true. So that's why we have to treat it with the same respect and not make the assumptions, and dive deep into the history and cultural context, so that we're all respecting the story, respecting these characters, respecting the humans that they represent. Ultimately, what I hope the audience gets out of watching our production of Anna and the Tropics, it's something that I think is echoes during the play, which is the idea of slowing down, of really listening, to better understand the human nature, right, and everything that comes with that. So better understand culture, love, relationships, and ultimately understanding that all those things take work, take breath, and take human hands in order to really prosper.